All right, it's Jack Mitchell, Publisher Ledger Dispatch. I'm here with Battalion Chief of the Amador Fire Protection District, Justin
Yelinek.
Yelinek. So Justin, Justin. Let's see, a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, we posted on Facebook, or I posted a story in the Ledger Dispatch, but I posted on Facebook some information from the Amador Fire Protection District on increased fees for new developments, forget what they called that one, and then also the first responder fee. And today we brought Justin down here to butcher him over the first responder fee. Actually, to answer your questions, we got a lot of feedback. Tell me a little bit about how this first responder fee came about. It's basically $364 for...
It is for EMS related calls only. So the first responder fee came about, it's actually a project that myself and another person's been working on for about a year and actually over a year, maybe a year and a half, on how we're able to provide a high level service, get paramedics or advanced life support personnel on our engines, and without having to look at the possibility of doing a countywide tax or a special district tax or increasing any other fees. Or
Did you use the tax word on Facebook? Are you crazy?
I did use that word. That's why we're not doing that. That is
So tell me the difference in the fee. So basically up until now, there is no fee going on. What is going to be the increased service, or why would suddenly we need a fee? Are we not going to get the current service we've been getting if we don't pass this? Or, I mean, what is the...
Nothing will change if this doesn't get passed. Everything stays the same. Sorry.
You can't turn that off. He's always on duty, by the way, too. So
That's true. Lately I have no days off. That's all right. But nothing will change as the service is provided. We'll still continue to provide the service that we have. We'll still have the personnel we have on the equipment and have on the engines. We'll still do, our expanded scope that our local EMS agency put on everybody. But what this fee is going to do is have us the ability to provide paramedics on our engine, which is advanced life support. Right now we currently operate as a basic life support, BLS. So we're going to put paramedics on the engine, advanced life support. We'll carry the same equipment as what American Legion personnel would carry, the paramedics on their equipment. Their ambulances, but what we're able to do is get on scene at a faster time, and instead of waiting 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sometimes up to 35 minutes for a paramedic to arrive on scene, we're actually going to be able to be there with our paramedics, assess the situation, start life-saving interventions if needed, start them on a cardiac monitor to get a picture of what's going on, so when they arrive on scene we can have a quicker turnaround to get them transported to a hospital faster, or determine what exactly is going on with them, and maybe they get transported out of the hospital to out of the area hospital.
So increased service as far as the medical needs. Do you find that you guys arrive that much sooner than the paramedics?
Absolutely, it actually happens a lot. We did a study this last year and a half. We started tracking our on-scene times and ambulance times. Most of the times we're on scene 10 minutes prior. A lot of times we show up in the same time depending on where they're at and what their staffing is. Sometimes we're on scene up to 15 minutes. Last week we were at a little closer area where we were on scene for 25 minutes waiting for an ambulance company to come. And then 2 weeks prior we were on scene for 35 minutes waiting for an ambulance to come out of San Andreas. It has nothing to do or against American Legion. They are wonderful partners. They do great with what they have. At times the system, because of the increase in call volumes that we have in this county, that we've experienced over the last few years.
Well, some of it's the geography, isn't it, of the areas that you're serving?
It is. It's some of it's remote areas where it just takes a while to get there. And if you have an ambulance that's coming, say, from either Plymouth or Ione, because the other ambulance companies, that Medic 3 could be busy, which are out of Pioneer. Medic 2 could be somewhere on a transfer. Either that, we have to pull an ambulance from San Andreas to come in. And if we're way up in Pioneer on the outskirts, it just takes a while to get there.
Now, are we the guinea pigs for this proposed fee? I mean, is anyone else doing this fee, or did you guys just magically come up with this fee on your own?
I wish we were that proactive to magically come up with this fee, but a couple of companies that we talked to who are third-party builders, there's actually 130 other fire departments in California that actually do this fee.
That already do the fee.
That already do this fee. And actually, Alpine County does the fee. Kirkwood Fire Department comes in and they do it. El Dorado County does it. Calaveras, they have a similar fee in place. Central Calaveras Consolidated.
Is it mostly rural areas?
Mostly rural, but also city areas. I know LA County has it, Sac City, Sac Metro. The city areas have it, Fairfield, Fremont, and that helps them put paramedics on the engine. Folsom has it.
How long have you guys been looking at this fee?
I would say we've been looking at this program for about 1.5 years now. This fee came about, we went to a third-party consultant to do what they call a nexus study. They came in, we sat down with them, we gave them all of our information on our department, and this is the numbers they came up with. After the 2 public sessions that we've had, we're actually going back to the consultant group, and we want to kind of redefine the report they have to make sure everything is 100% accurate.
So if you redefine, is that fee going to go up or down, or you?
I would say it's going to go down. I would say it's going down. It's not going to go up any higher. But I would
heard it
definitely
here.
say
He says
that's
it's
gonna
going
go
down. We're holding you to that, Justin. This is
Absolutely. Hey, I
all right. So
live in this community
here's the
too.
deal. So we're going to get into some of the fun stuff, and Craig's sitting right off camera, my reporter that asked the real hard-hitting questions. What we're going to do is get to some of the heated questions and some of the pieces that they asked on Facebook when we posted this proposed fee. So I'm going to go through some of those questions, put you on the spot. I love towards the end there's some real fun ones because apparently you guys are kind of sneaky, but we'll get to that. What exactly is the fee for? What will it be used for? Why is it needed?
So I think we covered on what the fee is actually for.
Uh-huh.
It is for us placing ALS personnel on our engines, and it's there for when we're on scene. We can provide a higher.
Do you have any ALS folks currently? I mean, if
We
they
do.
you
We
do
do.
already
Yeah,
have
we
some,
do.
but
But
they
we're-
can't administer because you're not.
We're not an accredited agency yet. We have put in our application to do
How long does that process go?
We're anticipating that we'll hear something by July 1. That's kind of our target date to have this, to actually have.
And the fee would go in effect on June?
I
July?
believe it was July 1.
July 1 as well. So if the fee were to get passed or to be approved and it goes July 1st, on July 1st, you could potentially see or should see
That's correct.
paramedics, full paramedics on AFPD fire.
That's correct.
Okay. What type of 911 call will be billed for? Medical, fire, suspicious? I mean, every time you dial 911, am I going to have a fee?
No, and this is actually a good question, and I don't mean to kind of smile on this one. Is, you know, when we proposed this one, it was for EMS related calls, and then we got a lot of feedback on, hey, if my neighbor's house is burning down, should I not call because they're going to get a $300 fee? You know what? At that time, if that's the case, I would be concerned about my neighbors. But anyways, with that, it's only EMS related.
Have you met my neighbors? I'm concerned about
It is not for public assist. We still will go to your house, help out anyone.
So it's
we can.
specifically medical call?
Yeah, no structure fires. Vehicle accidents, it will be for vehicle accidents if there's medical performed. But
Is it billed to the person that you're treating? I mean, what if I call, let's say Craig, God forbid Craig gets in an accident, but let's say Craig's boneheads and does something stupid and gets in an accident. I see it, I call, who gets the bill, me or?
it's actually, it would be the patient, but you're not even getting a bill. You would get an insurance inquiry that doesn't have any amount on there of what is owed. It's just asking if you simply have insurance. If you have insurance, we're just asking you to fill it out, and then our third-party biller will take it from there. If you don't have insurance, you're not going to get another knock on your door. You're not going to get anything, and the services are.
Is it billed through auto insurance or health insurance? Do you know?
EMS related ones, if we come out to your house, I would assume.
Depends on the type of
Yeah,
call?
I think it's going to be depending on the type of calls be billed to your health. Auto insurance, we all pay a medical deductible on there that we have on our auto coverage, so that's where that fee will come out of. If you don't have that and the auto insurance denies a claim, then they deny the claim.
What if you're maxed out or denied? Maxed out of your coverage or denied, the claim's denied, then do you personally owe the $364?
No, you will not personally owe anything. It's strictly coming from the insurance.
Strictly insurance. All right. If I'm injured and someone else calls 911 and then I refuse service because I did not call, do they get billed? We kind
No, there'll be no bill in there.
Okay.
What about insurance deductibles? Would that affect the payment? If I have a $500 deductible on my medical, is that going to affect that? Is that first $362 going to?
The whole goal of this to have this fee not to come from anyone's pocket per se. We don't want you to have to pay it. We don't want the people who live in our areas to have to pay that. It's strictly coming out of the insurance. So if our third-party biller, or whoever we choose to go with, sends an invoice, or not invoice, but a bill to your insurance company, and your insurance company says denied claim, we don't want you to have to pay that.
Is there any studies of the I think you said 164 other areas have this fee in place? Are there any studies as to what the insurance rates did in those areas?
So the insurance rates themselves, historically, if you look over the last 5 years, and I know for myself, our insurance has gone up 9 to 13% every year. It has not stayed the same. It has not flatlined. We've been, unbeknownst to a lot of people where this fee existed, we've actually been subsidizing insurance companies by paying an increase in premiums for them to actually cover this cost, whether we're elsewhere. So, but they historically have gone up for that reason. When we met with our third-party biller, we met with one of them. We talked about that. We said we're very concerned with if we start this in our area and somebody's bill now, insurance could go up, and they kind of not chuckled at that, but they had some statistical data. Yeah, they had some statistical data on that says, even if you don't do this fee, insurance is still going to go up. It's going to go up. It's been going up every year regardless.
Do you think this will cause people to think twice before calling 911 for fear they will get billed for someone else's emergency or for their emergency?
I hope they don't. We're all supposed to be nice to our neighbor and be, good citizens. And I know myself that if I see someone sick and injured, I'm going to do what I can to help them out and definitely call 911. I'm not going to stop. If I'm sick, I would want someone to call 911 for me. I know I'm going to get a bill for the ambulance, and I know I'm going to get a bill for the hospital. Some are emergency room visits, doctor, bills. It's just, I know I'm going to get that, but I'd rather be alive to be able to discuss those than not be.
When you're alive, you can keep fighting.
Absolutely.
In these other places that have the fee in place, are there have you known issues of insurance companies refusing to pay the fee for those that are covered, or continuously having to battle over the bill with insurance companies? Have you seen
No, the one company that we talked to, they're based out of Sacramento. They've been one of the longest third-party billing providers for a while, and they said they have great success with insurance companies. They actually, when they send the invoice, they don't have to argue with them over it, and if the insurance pays it, great. If the insurance pays a portion of it, great. They don't argue over it. The one thing I think is going to be different for us is we are going to have that Compassionate Billing Act in there, where, again, we don't want someone to have to pay out of pocket. So if your insurance receives a bill, and say it's $364, and the insurance says, we're only paying $50 of it, that's to be accepted as full. We're not going to go after the person that says, hey, you owe us $314. We don't want to.
And you guys basically take that cost that's not paid and to absorb it within the system, basically?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What's the biggest demographic as far as age that calls 911 in the AFPD, and how many calls do you get annually for?
So right now we run about, I think this last year for 2018 was a little over 2,600 calls. 1,700 of those calls were EMS related. It's hard to kind of put a number on a certain age group, because I think it's just spread out through all age groups. That was one of the comments that was made, is, oh, we're only targeting seniors. No, this is not a scam. We're not targeting seniors. There's people in this county that are on fixed incomes of all ages. My wife worked for HUD Housing, and she's seen that. We experienced that where I was laid off for a few months not working, and I was on fixed income, and I got a family of 5, and having to really struggle to put food on the table, so your kids are, don't want anything. That's a challenge for everybody. It's not just a certain age group. So when we heard that, I was kind of somewhat offended about that and upset that actually came out that way.
Well, you can't be too offended. You're trying to give us a fee, which is
and
is a tax. You called it fee, but I mean, let's be honest. It's a tax, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's a tax.
It's a fee for service, for better, increased service for higher level medical. All right, I'm just reading these. How often will the fee increase, and by how much?
I think it was proposed in the ordinance that every year it could be looked at.
It is annually looked at. I think there is a little bit of a piece in there, and it made me think, now, your board for the AFPD happens to be the Board of Supervisors.
That's correct.
And I think they may have picked up something from the state, because I think within the little writing in there, it says they can review it and increase at any time. Something to that effect.
Yeah, I think that was written in there, but I think that was when it was done that way.
You blame the board for that?
No, that's not the board. It's definitely not their fault. I think it was just added in there as part of some. I don't want to.
You plan on looking at it annually, basically, and seeing what?
Yeah, but I don't expect that to increase and go up. I mean, that's not the intentions of it. I mean, this is. I wouldn't be overall concerned about that. And I think once the proposed fee ordinance comes back out, there'll be some adjustments in there for that.
Okay. How many other areas in Amador County provide the service we're talking about without a fee?
So the service that we're talking about, there's no other areas in Amador County that actually provide that. American Legion is the only one that does that.
For the paramedic side?
Yeah.
Is that true with the new Buena Vista? And Buena Vista don't?
So actually, CAL FIRE is ALS, but they are going through the same application process that we're going through with.
So it'd be
Mountain Valley.
similar to what's being set up down in Jackson Valley.
But CAL FIRE right now, I mean, they're a great organization. I mean, we love them. We think they're good.
Come on, give us a dirt.
No, we have a good working relationship with them, and we like them. I mean, we heavily rely on those counties, everyone knows, but they can't operate in this region, ALS, because they have to go through the same process that we're doing, and they're going through the same application period that we are, or process, to be an accredited agency to operate in this region. They are accredited in Sacramento County, so they can operate as ALS in that area, especially over at the Cameron Park area, but coming to Amador County, once they're here full-time as ALS, they have to go through the same accreditation process.
Interesting. What is AFPD, again, Amador Fire Protection District, doing with Measure M funds?
So we've been one of the agencies that has consistently added staffing on our equipment. We have 7 stations, we staff 4 of them. Every engine that's staffed at the station is staffed with 2 personnel. So Measure M funds does help provide for the salaries of that and for money going back into our volunteers. We do have some other funds coming in that helps with equipment purchases, fuel costs, insurance, things like that. But we have 38 full-time members, and we have about 20 volunteers.
Are they highly paid, high-end pay, sought-after?
I wish, I wish they were. There was actually some comments about, oh, we should contract CAL FIRE. I tell you what, we would love it. We would definitely love to contract CAL FIRE. My wage, and anybody who wants to see what I make can go to the office and ask. My wage would probably double, if not triple, once we do that. We would have a defined benefit with PERS. We would have, I'd have paid medical after so many years. So, yeah, we would love to, but someone has to foot that bill, and
that someone would probably be
the members of the community. We do have a good healthy budget, but that goes to supply what we have. Our members, right now, if you're a new hire fire department as a firefighter, you start on making $12.93 an hour. So you can do the math on that. That's a low wage, and we are on the lower side of the scale.
And you have a lot of volunteers as well.
Yeah, we have about 20 volunteers that we rely heavily on.
Why is the non-emergency number not promoted more, the 223-6513? And has it been considered that we have another 3-digit emergency number, such as 311, that is used in some other counties and states for non-emergencies in Amador County?
Our office number is 6391, so 223-6391. We do get.
I just read them, 639.
Yeah, we do get a lot of phone calls there for non-emergencies, and we do have a lot of people that actually call our stations as well. And you can Google our stations that's close to you, and there's the number. So we do get a lot of calls that way. We even get calls at times at the station where, hey, I don't want to call 911, but I'm not feeling well. Well, we go out there and we call it in, and we're going out there.
All right, the board has. This is from Facebook. The board has already green-lighted the fee and needs final approval on April 16th. Why was the community not told and informed about this much sooner? And was this your plan to sneak this through?
So our plan is never to sneak anything through. Believe it or not, we're not the only agency in the county that has this fee in place. There is another agency that's had this fee in place since 2008, according to LAFCO documents. So our
what organization is that?
That would be Jackson Valley Fire Protection District.
Has the fee in place already?
They have a fee in place that they charge for vehicle accidents, DUI accidents, and such. They've had it since 2008, and that was per LAFCO documents. So when we were researching that, we did find that information out there. Whether or not they still use it today, I don't know. I can't answer it.
Mm-hmm.
But
you were trying to sneak it through?
yeah, so what actually the board of supervisors, our board of directors actually agreed to was they'll allow us to take this out to public, to have open sessions so we can get feedback on it. They didn't greenlight the fee, they didn't okay us to approve it, it still has to go through approval.
On
But
April
they,
16th.
yeah, they allowed us to go out and have public information meetings so we can bring this out to the public to discuss it. And they allowed us to contact third-party billers to see what a contract or agreement would look like.
And
So-
how's that, in that process of getting out there, is there anyone else you've talked to? I mean, basically, I found it on Facebook, which was a post from AFPD, is really where we started with the story. And I will be the first to say, when I posted our piece online, and I actually wrote a first article before I sent Craig to another informational meeting, did not call you. I just basically said, oh, they're putting out the information. I mean, you got to start somewhere. Year and a half in, it does seem pretty close to the time. So I found it a week late March for April 16th. You only have a couple weeks to educate. Have you been reaching out to other groups to talk to folks?
We realized that we obviously, we could have improved on our approach. We definitely could have improved on getting this out there prior. That is something that I will take the responsibility for.
But you did agree to come on Facebook here. I did not call and say, hey, come down and let's do a video.
Yeah, it was the coffee that convinced me to go on. So, but
you're getting out to groups and talking to them?
Yeah, we are. So we actually, we talked to the Commission on Aging. We talked to the Isolated Seniors Group, and because they heard some information that, hey, AFPD's be pounding on your door and wanting this money. It's like, that is further from the truth. When we went down there and spoke with them and showed them all the documents that, hey, this is what everything's going to look like, they definitely supported. We talked to Amador Lifeline. They want to help us get the information out there. I talked to the Amador Senior Center, the assistant director. She happened to be, she was a paramedic from the 70s, so she understood what we were trying to do and thinks it's great, but there is some concerns on how the message is going to be relayed to the seniors. So we will be going to the Amador Senior Center.
Well, it is also the fee, Amador County fee tax.
Well, they hear the word fee, and that's kind of like where a lot of people just,
Well, we do live in California. We are feed a lot.
I would say we're taxed a lot. I mean, and Amador County is definitely no stranger to any tax that was just, everyone was forced to pay, because I remember.
Plus, if you go back to Measure M, I thought that was going to unify our fire district.
We wish that it would, and we've been at the forefront for many years to, hey, let's look at something, let's consolidate, if we're not consolidating departments, let's consolidate resources, let's look at one ways or, ordering stuff as a group just to save money. And one of the recent things was, a lot of agencies ordered through a company called Life Assist for our medical supplies. We actually brought up an account manager up there, and they're giving us a very good discount rate that we're actually going to be sharing through all agencies. So instead of just going online, you can call up the account manager and we're all going to pay the same rate. So right then and there, I mean, that saves money. If we can save money that way, think about what we can do for PPE, equipment, all the supplies for fire department. So, I think we'll see department consolidation next year. Probably not. Hopefully before I retire out of this agency, that maybe we'll see some more talks on it. All the agencies that are out there are.
They do work together.
Yeah, we do work together, and they're all very good agencies, and they have some of the highest trained personnel out there. One of the comments that we've seen on Facebook that I was kind of disappointed about was, well, if you want more money, go get more certifications and then leave. So basically what the person was saying is...
I didn't mean it, that was my comment, by the way.
But basically what the person is saying is, Amador County doesn't deserve highly trained personnel. And I know a lot of members and multiple agencies in the county that have just as many certifications, if not more.
There's a lot of people that spend a lot of time for certifications,
Exactly.
making a lot less money, that stay here because they love Amador County.
Exactly, and absolutely.
But it doesn't make me happy about a fee. However, getting back to your fee, tax. We'll recap. There's a lot of things we could talk about, and certainly hope we get more time, and I appreciate you coming down here and talking, to folks that are on our Facebook page, you get them the information. If you were gonna kind of recap this fee, and what it's about. Give me the 2-second rundown.
this fee, or this proposed ordinance that we want to do is going to be good for the communities that AFPD serves. It will allow us to put advanced life-trained personnel on our equipment, get on scene in a reasonable time, and provide life-saving medications, and allow for a quicker turnaround time for when the ambulance does get on scene. We can basically pass off the patient to the ambulance, and we can load them up and get them to a hospital at a faster time instead of treating on scene or waiting for the ambulance company to get there, then treat on scene. It's faster turnaround, and hopefully what we're doing now will save a life one day, and I believe it will.
And also, the insurance companies are kind of dealing with this already in other areas.
Yeah, there's a lot of areas that do with that now.
Did I miss anything?
No, I think you were pretty thorough.
Thank you so much.
Hey.
Appreciate it. Thank you.